So now we've talked to the permitting company, not permitting company, the permitting department or the zoning department, and they may be two separate departments, honestly. If you get into like a bigger area, we have a permitting and then a zoning, but most of the time they're together. And so then they give you the thumbs up and they say, yes, you can build. And then after that, what you want to do, so after you did that, the next thing is to get a feasibility study. All right, a feasibility study. I'll say this is number 3, feasibility study. Okay. And the feasibility study is basically you hiring a company to like look at the market and to make sure that this is a good project that you should be working on, right? Based on the competitors, based on how much is driving, based on what the area calls for, and they'll tell you also what you should be building, all kinds of stuff. All right, so the feasibility study now, and then if you go to a bank and get a loan, the bank is going to ask you, like, where's your feasibility study? So you have to get this done if you know for sure that you're going to be building a new build. Okay, so feasibility study, there's a lot of companies out there that do feasibility studies, and they're actually expensive. So don't just so you know, like, it's going to be expensive. This is an expense that you're going to have to pay. It's a couple $1,000s, if not more, depending on how big the facility is. Okay. So you want to get a feasibility study done. All right. And so then after you get the feasibility study back, and that's going to take a couple of weeks. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say about that too was that you want to make sure that you put the on the contract, when you put the land under contract, you want to make sure that you put like all these stipulations in there. And one of the stipulations is like, if this feasibility study comes back and it says, no, like, this is not a good thing, then I'd like to cancel the contract. I terminate the contract. If the county comes back and says like, no, you can't, build your storage facility, I'm going to cancel the contract. All right. So you want to make sure that you put on the contract your stipulations for termination. Okay. All right. So that is that. Okay. All right. So we have the land, we have the zoning, we have the feasibility study. Oh, another thing I totally forgot. All right. Is number 4 is talking to a metal fabrication company and having them give you a quote on how many units you can build. All right. How many units you can build. So talk to a metal fabrication company. And get quote. Get quote. That says quote. Okay. All right. And so because the reason why is because these fabrication companies, I mean, at least all the ones I know and work for, is like they can give you a quote back in like 24 hours a lot of times. Now, they'll give you just like a rough idea. So you give them, like, you essentially tell them the address, give them like maybe a drawing of what your property looks like. And then they can quickly come in and just do like a quick diagram of how many units they think they could build on this. Now, that doesn't go off the feasibility study or anything like that. Once you get the feasibility study back, then you could be like, oh yeah, I need to like change the unit sizes and mixes and stuff because like this is what the market actually calls for. But they can really give you a good idea of like how much square footage you can put in that area. And they do this all for free. Honestly, they just do you a quick quote, and they're used to doing these things as well. So definitely, like, once you get that land, I would get a quote, a drawing from a metal fabrication company, talk to two or three of them and just get some different ideas. That way you can see what you think you could do there. Okay.